Hello and welcome to the Google Plus Google Hangout. My name's Jeremy Gilly. I'm the founder of Peace One Day. Today we've had a very important launch. Peace One Day partnered with EDV to launch the Global Truce 2012 Reducing Domestic Violence campaign. And I'm joined here today from individuals from all over the world, from every continent of the world, who have become part of a coalition to reduce domestic violence on the 21st of September 2012. You can find out more about the campaign, Global Truce 2012, at peaceoneday.org. But I'd like to now take this opportunity for you to be able to be introduced to everybody at the Google Hangout. So if I start with Baroness Scotland, if everyone could introduce themselves, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Well, hi everyone, I'm Baroness Scotland. I'm the founder and patron of the Eliminate Domestic Violence Global Foundation. We're a new foundation hoping to spread understanding across the world on how we can get rid of domestic violence.
Hello, my name is Chandni Roy. I'm from India, and I'm from the Sahara India Parivar. It feels nice that for a change, I'm not a spectator. I'm here to make a difference. And believe me, you can make a difference too.
Hi everyone, my name is Alfonso Viland. I come from Peru. I'm the co-director of the Peace and Hope International, human rights that works in this issue of domestic violence.
Hello, I'm Pam O'Brien, and I'm with Aid to Victims of Domestic Abuse, AVDA, in Florida, the United States. And AVDA's mission is to promote violence-free relationships and social change by offering alternative choices to end violence and domestic abuse.
Hello, hi, I'm Amrish Chandra from India. And as an educationist, I look at working with the EDV platform and the Peace One Day platform in developing a school contact program that develops the sensitivity and awareness in children at an early age, working towards a more peaceful world.
My name is Alexis Valdovinos. I am a Peace One Day intern. I will be translating Spanish into English during this conversation, and I am here to enjoy all these different views.
Hello, everybody. My name is Torin Saraki. I come from Nigeria in Africa, and I represent the Wellbeing Foundation Africa. We work to eradicate maternal, newborn, and child mortality throughout Nigeria and the Africa region. I'm happy to be here to support Peace One Day and to put our efforts together.
G'day, I'm Julie Park from Australia, and I manage a program of workplace primary prevention of domestic violence in Melbourne with Women's Health Victoria.
Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Moorbeck, and I'm the Executive Director of the Corporate Alliance Against Domestic Violence. We work in partnership with Eliminate Domestic Violence, the Global Foundation, and with employers throughout the United Kingdom addressing the impact of domestic violence in the workplace. We are also very pleased to be in partnership with the Global Truce 2012.
Hello, my name's Maddie. Nice to see you out there. Thank you for joining us. I'm a victim of domestic violence. You are not on your own. These great people and Peace One Day are going to work together to stop this. And we're here to support all those victims who are currently going through domestic violence or who have survived it. I'm from the European Economic and Social Committee, a civil society organisation, and we will fight to stop it first in the European Union and then beyond there. But we are all working together. So thank you for joining us also.
Hey, I'm Maria Ruotanen from the Council of Europe, which is a 47-member intergovernmental organization that works in the area of rule of law, human rights, and democracy. And why is the Council of Europe so passionate about fighting violence against women? Because it considers it to be the most serious violation of human rights. 1 year ago, almost 1 year ago, we opened for a signature convention that is exactly aiming to fight the violence against women. And this has been an excellent opportunity today to speak with the other stakeholders to see how we can make this convention as effective as it's meant to be. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, we've heard from everybody, and of course, the 21st of September, as we said, is a day of ceasefire and non-violence. We want all sectors of society to be involved to see the largest reduction of violence ever recorded. In Afghanistan, there was a 70% decrease in violence in 2008, announced by the United Nations Department of Security and Safety, and it was those statistics that have inspired the Global Truce 2012 campaign. And what you've just heard from is incredible men and women who have come together to reduce violence, probably the greatest violence that exists on this planet that humanity faces and that we need to tackle together, and that, of course, is domestic violence. So now we have the incredible opportunity, the wonders of Google Plus and the Google Hangout, to be able to go live to Mexico. There are people all over the world, and I'd first of all like to go to Mariana Banos, who is the founder of a leading domestic violence organization. So if we could now hear from Mariana, welcome to the Google Plus Global Truce 2012 Hangout.
Mariana.
Hello, Mariana, can you hear us?
Mariana is out. She's going to be out shortly.
Okay, so we'll move to the next one. Okay, as you get a little technical problem there. So we will now go to Anna, who is in Mexico. Anna is a victim of domestic abuse. Anna, thank you for joining us. We'd love to hear from you.
Hola, buenas tardes.
We may well have a problem, technical problem there, going to Anna. So should we try somebody else? Okay.
Posteriormente, bueno, yo en ese momento no me das cuenta, pero que me casé fue cuando empecé a tener una serie de problemas. Me casé muy chica, a los 15 años. Me salí de casa. Me 25 años mi pareja. A los 20 años porque, bueno, ya que ya las cosas no estaban bien, me dejaba. Y también fui víctima de violencia psicológica. Encontré yo ayuda en la fundación cuando una amiga me dio el número telefónico. Ahí me di cuenta que pues estaba viendo la violencia, yo todavía no me daba cuenta que era violencia. Bueno, fue muy difícil, pero actualmente pues ya va adelante.
She's saying that she had suffered domestic violence in her home from her spouse, and that she suffered for a very long time before finding a refuge in a foundation she had found from a friend of hers, and that through this foundation she found hope and she found a lot of aid, and that she never gave up, and as long as if you may continue, puede seguir. Ana, ¿nos escucha?
Anna, thank you for sharing your thoughts, and I very much appreciate you joining this Google Hangout. So thank you. Can we now hear from Mary Carmen, who from the foundation? Mary Carmen, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Great. Would you like to make your statement, please, for today?
I'm sorry, you didn't listen.
Would you like to make your statement, Mary Carmen?
I've been working in Fundación Origen for 7 years now. I manage the 2 programs that we have. We have one hotline in Mexico that is an 800 number. We help emotionally, legally, and in some medical aspects all women. It's a free service. It's anonymous. We've been helping already like a lot of women, like to more than 200,000 women. And we also have another program that is Casa Origen, and this program helps women in all aspects. We give them therapy, we give them a lot of talleres. We give a lot of services in personally services. We've been helping a lot of women, and we believe that women are the base of society, and there's no justify for violence.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on all that incredible work, and to the people that you support and help. That's wonderful that you're doing that amazing work. I wonder if there was anybody from the panel who'd like to comment on, Anna sharing her story, and what that might mean for others, who are hearing that. Does anybody have a thought on that?
Well, I think much of what Anna said, unfortunately, is so typical of many victims who feel isolated and frightened. And I think for those who may be listening to this, just to understand that there are people all over the world who are willing to come together to help and make a difference, and particularly the fact that so many people think that it's their fault when we know it absolutely isn't. So I hope that people listening out there will take courage from the fact that there are so many people across the world who want to make a difference to bring peace one day into every home in our world.
Great. Well done, Anna, for sharing that story, and let's hope that you're an inspiration, to others to do the same. Can we hear from Carla Enriquez? Carla, can you hear us?
Sí. Dice.
Carla?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
Dijo en español, sí. Sí. Bueno, que la idea es que México es un país en el que se vive mucha violencia doméstica. Día con día recibimos llamadas de mujeres que necesitan apoyo, tanto legal como emocional.
There is a lot of difficulty in Mexico, and women suffer abuses, both emotional and physical.
Como es el caso de Ana, que son mujeres que están desesperadas, que buscan una orientación, un apoyo. Porque, como bien sabemos, la violencia doméstica afecta a la mujer y a cualquier miembro de la familia en todos los aspectos y esferas de su vida.
And it affects the woman in any and every sort of aspect in both the family, and affects her emotionally, physically, mentally.
Por lo que nuestra misión dentro de la fundación es apoyar integralmente a la mujer.
Which the foundation actually actively supports, helping the woman in all these different aspects.
Con esto, poco a poco, ir generando cambios y cadenas de cambio dentro de la vida, y también abordar lo que es la violencia en todos sus aspectos.
And in this way, little by little, helping women across the world, and in this way, little by little, step by step, beginning to eradicate women abuse and domestic violence.
Thank you very much for that statement. Yes, would you like to say something about that?
I want to say that Maria Carmen points out something very, very important. Domestic violence is not about just the bruises. It's about the emotional damage that is done, often years and years and years before the actual physical violence even starts. And that's the emotional violence you also can't get away from. I still cannot watch violence on TV, and it's 20 years later. So we have to be aware that, please, it's not just about the bruising. But she points out a very good point that I think needs to be considered across the world. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for that. Yes, please.
On? Oh. Okay, I would also like to add, I would hope that our caller from Mexico could provide the 1-800 helpline, because chances are people are listening who might be interested in making a call to a hotline. And another resource would be to Google the International Directory of Domestic Violence Agencies, and that will give a listing of hotlines that are free in your country. The number for the United States is 1-800-799, and then the word SAFE, S-A-F-E, or 7233.
What was the name of it? What should people Google again? Could you just repeat the name of the organization they should Google if they want to find support?
It's called International Directory of Domestic Violence Agencies. And that will give a listing of the 1-800 numbers according to the language spoken by the individual.
Fantastic.
And I know anyone who would call the hotline number in the United States, there is a hotline interpretation line so that no language is a barrier.
Thank you for that information. So we hope that the foundation in Mexico joins the coalition that has been launched and established today. I've been to Mexico many times recently. We're doing lots of work in that incredible, inspiring country. So I hope that you will become part of the domestic violence coalition that, as I said, has been launched today. So let's now go to another question from James McDonald. James, can you hear us okay?
There are ongoing protests surrounding the suicide of a victim of rape and domestic violence in Morocco, yet this has barely received any attention on the news. Should these incidents be reported more often to increase awareness of domestic violence worldwide?
James, thank you for that question. Yes, why don't you answer?
Well, absolutely. James, I'm Toyin, and I'm coming from Nigeria, which is in Africa. A lot of people might not know the details of the case. This is a young lady who was raped. And because rape attracts such a stigma in her community, the only way to remove that stigma is for the person who was raped to be married to the person who raped them. And so a marriage was hastily arranged for her to marry her attacker. And of course, she couldn't bear the thought of living with this person, and she committed suicide recently. It has been covered on the news, but I think the one thing that we have to do is to provide assistance for victims of domestic violence and for victims of lack of agency and disenfranchisement in a way that can be culturally sensitive so that they can reach out and get this assistance without them getting more stigmatized than getting this assistance. I think that this 1-800 helpline idea is very, very good. And I also think that the coalition needs to encourage more and more local organizations at the front line who, in my belief, can empower women. Because I believe if a woman is empowered, she begins to be able to sustain herself. And we hope that we will never see a situation where another young girl on this earth is forced to marry her attacker just because they want to avoid loss of face or family stigmatization. It's a tragedy which must never repeat itself.
Well, thank you. And James, thank you for that very interesting point that you've raised. It's good for us to talk about. We can now go to Mariana Banos, the founder of the organization that we've been hearing from, Tackling Domestic Violence. Mariana, please, what would you like to say?
Well, hello, and thank you for this forum and this space to talk about domestic violence. That I think it's an anonymous problem in all the world. It's incredible that we're still living everything and all that women suffers. Violence is not only talking about domestic violence, but also how they interchange and entail women all around the world. And I think it's very important that women need to know that there is a space for them, there is a different path, and there are people, professional people, who are willing to help them. It's very important for them. As we told you, we have a hotline number that is a helpline, and we are the only hotline in Mexico that we give a special treatment by psychologists, by lawyers to have also legal aid. And we are the only one who give them a special follow-up. I don't know if you're listening to me. I think.
Yes, we are listening, and we can hear you very well. Would anybody like to? Yes, could you tell us what the hotline is first? The number.
Yes, the hotline is when we started. The number is 0-1-800 015 16 17.
So perhaps you could repeat that for us.
Okay, I think we lost connection. It's Mari Carmen here. Can you listen to me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, it's 01800 015 16 17.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And I'm sure that must be on your website if people want to find out.
Yeah, sure.
Great. Well, that's brilliant. What is your website?
It's origenac.org. Origenac.org.
Brilliant. Great. Thank you. Okay, so let's now, we heard from James. Let's now go to Alan Scally. Alan, can you hear us okay?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. What question would you like to ask the panel, Alan?
Well, I'm familiar with the work most of you do, so what I would like to ask is, if each one of your organizations had unlimited resources, what would you do?
Okay, well, that's a very good question that I'm sure everyone would like to be able to have the problem of dealing with. Would you like to start, Alfonso? I mean, what would you do if you had unlimited resources?
I think I would love to have more passion for fighting against violence than money. I think money is a very good tool, but it's sometimes difficult to get passion from people that want really to fight against this problem. So I would love to have more people like here that have this kind of passion. With this passion, we can change the world. Money is important, I think, but I guess the most important thing is to develop this new generation of, especially young people, that will be more concerned about social justice problem in the world.
Thank you, Alfonso. Would anyone else like to answer that? Yes.
I think I'd also like to contribute that, yes, I think it is much more than money, and it's wonderful to have the passion. And for us, it would be about empowering.
1 second, I think there's a problem with your mic. Is that right? Do you want to just bring it a little closer to you?
Sure, not a problem. It's about empowering employers and letting employers know that they can be part of the solution, and the people who work there aren't isolated. And if you are enduring this, that there are options for you, and your employer can be part of that conversation as well. I think that that's very important. It's also important to think about the next generation and the future generation. So you have child witnesses who will be in the workplace in the future, and how will we work with them and hear what they need and empower employers to be part of that conversation as well.
Okay, great. Yes.
I truly believe that the solution has to be 360 degrees. When there is a victim, when you rehabilitate the victim, it's not just providing a new life, a new livelihood. As we spoke about the mental torture that the victim goes through, it's very important to give them the counseling that they deserve so that they can get through it and they can cleanse their entire system of whatever they have been through. So if we had unlimited resources, I think 360-degree change is what we should be looking at.
And I think if EDV had unlimited resources, which tragically we don't currently have, but after tonight I hope we will, we would help every country across the world to develop an effective plan, inter-country plan, to eradicate domestic violence. I would like to do a cost-benefit analysis in every country, so every country understands just how much pain and economic loss is incorporated into domestic violence. Here in the United Kingdom, we did an economic assessment as to how much it was costing us. It cost us £23 billion a year in 2004. We were able to use that information and reduce domestic violence by 64% and save £7.5 billion a year. I'd love it if we could do that in every country across the world. So I don't hesitate to say to everyone, I think we have the passion, bucket loads of it. I think now we need the money.
Right. Yes, please.
Yes, I could also add that I think the awareness raising is very important at this stage, because once we manage to change the mindsets and the people's culture, when they accept that they don't accept any violence anymore, it becomes a zero tolerance. I think that is already a big step. So I would certainly, if I had more resources, use more doing that. And I think it would come also then a political priority in the several countries. Our convention is, of course, open for non-member states of the Council of Europe. And when it becomes a priority, of political priority and public debate, I think then we have already won quite a lot. And that will allow us to effectively implement the convention.
I think this issue of awareness is very exciting. I mean, because awareness of a day of peace obviously means that people will participate. And if they participate, lives will be saved, children will be educated, vaccinations will occur. And I think that's one of the loveliest things about all of us coming together, or what we feel inspired and empowered by, is the fact that we are coming together. And today, right now, with the support of Google, we are raising awareness and talking about the issue. And I think that if you're listening and you're part of a domestic violence organization, or your understanding or know about the issue, then join forces, come together, because if every organization dealing with domestic violence was to unite on the 21st of September as a global coalition, then we would raise enormous amounts of awareness of a key issue that humanity faces, one of the most violent that's occurring on a daily basis. So please, if you're out there, please join. You can send an email, which we will share with EDV and others, global.truce@peaceoneday.org. So if you're out there listening and you want to become involved, email us global.truce@peaceoneday.org and become part of this coalition and celebrate the 21st of September. And let's all raise awareness of this fundamentally important issue, which in turn will inform people that the 21st of September is a day of ceasefire and non-violence, a starting point for your actions for a more peaceful world. And if you're not part of a domestic violence organization, of course, it doesn't matter, whether you're at school watching, whether you're a student, whether you're at home with your families, we all have a role to play. The leverage for shifting the level of consciousness around the fundamental issues that humanity faces is all of us coming together. Individuals of this world can create peace. Peace is not in the hands of the governments. It's in the hands of all of us. And we must unite and we must come together around issues such as domestic violence. And through that coming together, we can change things. We can create hope. And that's really what today is all about hope and about change. So please really get involved in this process and find out more. Let's go to another question to Jennifer. Jennifer, can you hear us okay?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear. It sounds like you're next door.
Well, I'd like to ask the panel's opinion as to a solution for reducing domestic violence in the case of an arranged or forced marriage, where, say, ending the marriage or even separation aren't even feasible options due to factors such as maintaining family honor, religion, and culture. And we're even suggesting it potentially could end in an honor killing of the victim. Thank you.
Well, I think the first thing to say is that we need to, of course, and I know you will, differentiate between arranged marriage, which is consensual, when everyone agrees that that's something they want to do, and a forced marriage where there is no consent. And I think in the main we're talking about forced marriages where there is no consent. You'll know that here in the United Kingdom we created the Forced Marriage Unit, which is available to help those people who would like to escape from that terrible position and to support them, to enable them to do that. And I think that the lessons that we've learned from the Forced Marriage Unit can be shared absolutely globally. We were talking in the last question about what our greatest resource is. Actually, the greatest resource are the people, and all of us, and each of us, who may come across such a victim, and we need to be there to help them. Forced marriage is not something that we can accept. It is a violation of the human rights, and there's opportunities for all of us to make a difference. All the people here and the work we do are going to make that difference, and I hope all of you listening will make that commitment as well.
Thank you. Maddie, did you want to say something?
Yeah, you raise a really interesting point, also very culturally sensitive. without going into the differences between the forced marriages and the arranged marriages, it does happen in all marriages. It doesn't matter whether they're love marriages, whether they're arranged marriages, it still happens. The issue is that the victim should not remain silent and has to ask. And I understand, my background is Asian, I didn't have an arranged marriage, but I understand that it is completely against what the families believe in. But for arranged marriages, it is one family marrying another family. So keep it inside the family, but tell somebody within the family what is happening on both sides, so that both sides can try and sort it out. I know very often it is not an option for the girl to leave, but what is better, to be completely hit all the time, or have violence done against you, or to try and discuss it where there may be an option of leaving. And we just cannot live under this fear barrier, but we still have to remember that there are other people who understand what's happening. It should not remain a domestic issue. And this is even without outside of cultures where arranged marriages or forced marriages are happening. It's the same numbers. It's usually between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4. It's happening in all cultures. We have to remove the barrier which says this is a domestic issue. It's not.
If I might just add something, in our African cultures, it's very important to remember that many an arranged marriage is some form of a contractual arrangement between two families. Now, in any business, which marriage, the business of marriage is in an arranged marriage, if one party is not happy with that arrangement, you can go back to the source of the arrangement and you can seek to alter the terms. I would speak to any African woman, and even any woman who finds herself in that position. First of all, stay close to your own family. Really, if the question was put to your family, do they want a live woman in her husband's house, or do they want a dead body in a coffin brought back to them? I think the answer would be very, very clear. They would want a live woman, and preferably with her children, who are their grandchildren, coming back to them. Secondly, I do have to speak directly to women. Try as much as you can to have some savings of your own. Try to have a little bit of work that you're doing that allows you some degree of an economic, what I will call an insurance fund, so that if at any time you have to pack your bags and you have to run away, you can do so without having to rely on outside people, because help is not available everywhere. And for some people where there even is help, for different reasons, they may not be able to reach out and grasp that help. So I think as women, we must all tell our daughters, it doesn't matter how wonderful your marriage is at the beginning, start to save, just in case.
Wow. Wow, amazing, wise words. Well, would anybody else like to say anything? I mean, we're coming towards the end of our Google Hangout. It's been a really incredible day for us here today. This is an incredibly important issue that's been discussed, and a coalition is being created. And what we've heard from people who really understand this issue is that awareness is key. So you all have a role to play. Please mark the 21st of September, a day of ceasefire and non-violence. And as a consequence of your actions and your commitment to that day, lives will be saved. Join this coalition. Be part of Global Truce 2012. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank these incredible people who have flown from all over the world to be here today. And I really hope that this is the beginning of a wonderful coalition where somebody's life will be affected. And that is the greatest thing that could ever be achieved. And here's to that happening. So thank you very much for being a part of this very important Google Hangout. Thank you.